Shaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very happy good morning to you all. Today we are starting next poem, next unit after Black Beauty, and its name is Moon Wind. It's given at page 25 and it's written by Ted Hughes. He was born in 1930 and died in 1998. He went to Cambridge University to study English, but later switched to archaeology and anthropology. He won many prizes for his poems. This is short introduction of the poem. What about the poem? Okay, as it's clear from its name, Moon Wind. Do you think there is wind on the moon? Yes or no? No. So it's totally imaginary. The poet has given his imaginations. If there were earth-like wind on the moon, earth-like weather on the moon, what would happen? The poem is full of the poet's fantasy and imaginations, like it's not real. The poet presents a very strange picture of the wind that he imagines to be present on the moon. Like he thinks it's his imagination. In reality, there is no wind on the moon and no gravity at all. He continues to point out that the wind seems to be howling, like when the wind blows it in such type of empty places or rooms, new buildings, that produce a terrible sound which is called howling. It seems to be howling all over the moon's surface, but it is doing so in complete silence. Like it's a funny poem also, and he uses strange comparisons to make his readers amuse, enjoy and startle. What type of strange imaginations he has? That the moon wind is so strong, what he imagines, that the moon wind is so strong that it could tear anything held by roots, like whatever his roots are for trees. When the strong wind or storm is there, they are uprooted. Trees are uprooted. Nails and screws, like we normally tight things with other things with the help of nail. Imagines like if there were earth-like weather or a storm at the moon, what would happen? See, it could tear anything held by the roots, nails and screws. See, roots hold the trees, nails and screws are used to tight things. Like for example, you can see on the top of the page, the marquee is flying with the wind and it has nails attached to it or screws because they are tightened with the help of rope. But if there is strong wind, that carries all the things. You imagine like it's normally happen if there is strong wind on the earth, what happens? All the things blow in the air. People are pushed in the opposite direction. Whatever, like for example, the wind is from this side, you will be pushed up backward. If that is from the backward, you will be pushed upwards. Same, trees come out of their roots, signboards fall down, poles fall down. So such type of situation occur when there is strong wind on the earth. But the poet has imagined all these on the moon. If there is no wind on the moon, how it can be? No air is there, how can it be? But he has given these strange, this is strange indeed, strange comparisons he has given. Like for example, if we say cold flame, flames are hot, you know. But if we say like this one is, he says all these activities on the surface of the moon take place in complete silence, which is impossible. So it's like, as he says, dead still blast. Blast means sudden and loud sound of anything, any explosion. So it's like we say cold flame. Meat eating vegetarian. Vegetarian doesn't eat, never eats meats, that's why he is called vegetarian. And when you say meat eating vegetarian, it's strange. As you say dark sunlight. Sunlight is sunlight, bright. It should be bright, not dark sunlight. And bright darkness. Darkness, you know, it's not bright, that's why. Bright darkness, this is like he has used these strange comparisons to amuse, entertain and startle his readers. Now let's start with the moon wind. How he has imagined all these activities on the moon. If there would be earth-like wind or earth-like weather on the moon, what would happen? So he has presented in a very strange way. Each stanza, whatever you see the pictures on the page, he has given, and at the end every stanza ends with the words in utter stillness. Different activities are given in different stanzas, and he says all this is done in utter stillness. Utter stillness is noun, so utter is adjective, but utter is verb also, that means to say something. Meanings are given. More than this I have mentioned you in the notes if you have taken them. So, but you can search dictionary for all these, but I am going to explain as I am reading. There is no wind on the moon at all. Like he has described you in the start that there is no moon, there is no wind on the moon at all. Then what happens? The rest are his imaginations if there is wind on the moon. So what happens? Yet things get blown about. There is no wind on the moon, but things blown about. How? In utter stillness. All this happens in things get blown, but they that activity is done in complete silence. When the there is strong wind, things fall down. There is a huge sound, like we understand there is a noisy environment that time, because things collide each other, things fall down and they produce a loud sound which is impossible in complete silence. Next, what activity is done? Your candle shivers out. Imagines all these activities he imagines on the moon. Your candle shivers out. Its candles are unable to be like to give light when they shiver because of fan if you on that, and because of wind also. So shivers out. Shiver means trembling with fear or cold, but he has given this word for candle also. In utter stillness. First activity, what happens? Shivers. Candles shiver out. Next, a giant marquee. Marquee means a large tent. Booms and flounders past you like a swan at sea. You know swan is a huge white bird. When it opens its wings, it becomes like a marquee. When it flies, it passed by you, blooms and flounders. Booms and flounders, like it produces a huge noise, and then he says in utter stillness. Like see, again a strange comparison is given. While you stand in the street, a squall of hens and cabbages knocks you off your feet in utter stillness. You know, when there is wind on the earth and those who walk during that wind or storm, things hit our feet, we stumble down, we can't keep our balance, and we always sometimes fall down. So he says a squall of hens. Squall means a sudden gust of wind, but he has used it like a collective noun for hens and cabbages. Like they knocks you off your feet, means they hit your feet and you fall down. And all this happens in utter stillness. This was third activity. What? Cabbages and hens hit your feet and you fall down. While you stand agog, a tearing, twisting sheet of pond clouds you with a frog. Next, if you stand agog means to stand openly, widely, or it means eager and excited. Like when you stand beside a pond, what happens? If like there is no wind, the surface of the water is smooth and calm, no waves are produced. But if there is wind, waves are produced, and whatever is lying on the surface of the water, that is carried to the bank of the river. So what the poet says, a tearing, twisting sheet of pond. Like he has compared the smooth surface of the water with a sheet, and when it is disturbed by the wind, it carries frogs and knocks you off your feet, clouds you with a frog. It hits like a frog hits you. And from where it comes? From the tearing, twisting. When the smooth surface of water is disturbed, it means tearing. A camp of caravans suddenly squawks and takes off. Caravans is a group of people. They travel together and they go and travel in search of favorable weather. So they are parked in a caravan's camp. Mostly they stay beside the river, under the trees, where their animals get food, and they also in search of favorable weather and food. They are mostly nomads. So here the poet has compared the flock of birds with a camp of caravans, squawks and takes off. As people come, and when there is storm or heavy rain, they change their place and go to a favorable place. Same, he has compared this with a flock of birds that flies together and make a loud cry. And all this also he says, a Ferris wheel bounds along the skyline. Ferris wheel, a giant revolving vertical wheel, as you see in fun fairs or Tatara Park, or you sit in that and that moves like this, and that is so tall that it touches. We always say skyline means like it's too tall and high. Like a somersaulting giraffe. Somersault, when you roll like this, like babies do on the ground, or someone falls from the stair like this, which is impossible for giraffe because it has a long neck. If it's somersault, a somersault is compared to a giant wheel, Ferris wheel, when it moves like this, and when a giraffe somersault like this. So he has compared somersaulting giraffe with a Ferris wheel that moves in vertical direction, and it touches like so high, like it touches the sky. Roots and foundations, nails and screws, nothing can hold fast. As I told you in the introduction, nothing can hold fast. Like all these are unable to resist against the strong wind blown on the moon, surface of the moon. Neither roots, trees are uprooted, nor foundations. Foundation means when something is based on that. Nails and screws, like nothing is helpful in the strong wind. Nothing can resist the moon's dead still blast. Dead still blast. See, again it's a strange comparison. When it is blast, how it can be dead and still. Dead still means absolutely without movement and completely quiet. So blast can't happen in, or it can't be without sound. So this is again a strange comparison. Nothing can resist the moon's dead still blast. When a strong wind, gust of wind comes on the surface of the moon, it carries all the things, whether they are whether they are trees, nails and screws, all those things are carried away with itself. So what we studied, this is imaginary, and the poet has imagined if there were strong wind on the moon, what would happen. So first he said, all the things get blown even without wind there. Number 2, candle shivers out, joint marquee booms and flounders. Next, a squall of hens and cabbages knocks you off your feet. Next activity is a tearing, twisting sheet of pond clouds you with a frog. Then a camp of caravans suddenly squawks and takes off, means takes off, they leave their place and migrate to another, like nomads, whatever we call khana badosh in Urdu. Next, a Ferris wheel bounds along the skyline, and it's like a somersaulting giraffe, which is again so huge animal having long neck, it can't, unable, impossible to somersault. And then roots and foundations, nails and screws, nothing can resist against that still blast. Go through this, see the meanings, read it once again, try to understand, practice the exercise also. These are similes given at page 27, which are so easy. Try question answers, they are given in written form provided to the students. Enough for today. Take care. Fi amanillah.